how Quicksort works. So for Quicksort, we would need to first choose a pivot. Our pivot could be any element in the list. It could be the first element, last element, middle element. Today's one, we're going to choose the last element as the pivot. Then we're going to have a partition, which means that when we choose our pivot, all the elements that are less are on the left side, and all the elements that are greater or equal to the pivot are on the right side. And then we have the recursively application. So we would then recursively call the left side and the right side. Now I'm going to demonstrate this using a pointer. So a pointer is going to be ij and a pivot. We were going to use the number 72936 as our list to sort. So we will start with the number 72936. The last number, so that's the Lomuto scheme, is going to be our pivot. The first number in our list is going to be I. And the number one less than the pivot is going to be our J. So we have 3 pointers, so we've got I and J. Now I is going to be looking for numbers that are bigger than the pivot. So is 7 bigger than 6? The answer is yes. If that's the case, I would stop. Our J is moving to the left and is looking for numbers smaller or equal to the pivot. So is 3 smaller than 6? Yes. When they stop, J and I, they are going to swap places. So I will swap with J. So what that means is all the numbers kind of will be smaller on that side and bigger on this side. So if I swap the numbers, I'm going to have 3, 2, 9, 7, and 6. And then we will carry on. We know that's the pivot. 2 is now our I. And J would need to move to the left. Well, actually, before that happens, we need to go through I. So we need to ask, is the number 2, is it bigger than the pivot? The answer is no, because 2 is smaller. So we're going to move I. So I is going to move here now. Then we would ask, is 9 bigger than the pivot? Well, the answer is yes. So I is going to stop. J is moving to the left and is looking for numbers smaller or equal the pivot. So we know if we move to the left, 9 is not smaller than the pivot. So we're going to now move J. Now there is the rule, which is that in our algorithm, when J is to the left of I, then we need to swap the pivot with the I. So we're going to swap I and the pivot. So I'm going to swap 9 and 6. So we would have 3, 2, 6, 7, 9. At this point, we've actually completed our first transition. the pivot is now in the right place. The left side should be smaller, not necessarily in order, and the right side should be bigger than the pivot. We're now going to recursively call the right side and the left side. So we would recursively call the left side of our list. So on the left side, we have 3 and 2. We're going to do the same procedure. The last number is going to be the pivot. The first number is I, and the number one less from the pivot is J. We're then going to be asking that same question. Is 3 bigger than 2? So remember, if I is looking for a number bigger than the pivot, well, 3 is not bigger than 2, so I is going to stop. J doesn't have anywhere else to go. So now we have the same situation where we've got I and J are both on the same number. This normally would happen when there's only 2 numbers. So then we will swap I with the pivot. So we're going to do a swap. We will swap 2 and 3. So we would have 2, 3. Now what would naturally happen is that on the left side of 2 there is nothing to sort, but on the right side of 2 there's the number 3. So ideally speaking, it would do a recursive call on 3. But because 3 is the only number, you're only swapping 3 with 3. I and the pivot will swap. So in this situation, we've sorted the list. We're now going to look at the right side of 6, so which is 7 and 9. So that's 7 and that's 9. This is our pivot. This is I and this is J. We now need to ask those same questions. I is moving to the right and looking for numbers bigger than the pivot. Well, is 7 bigger than 9? No. So I is going to move. Well, I is equal to the pivot. So 9 is equals to 9, so we can't move further. J can't go anywhere else. Now, when J is to the left of I, so we're looking at when J is to the left of I, what do we swap? We swap the pivot and I. So we're now going to do a swap there. Actually, we don't need to do a swap because we need to swap I and the pivot. So we need to swap 9 with 9. So now we would swap 9 with 9, which gives us 9 here still, and 7. Now our 6 is still here, so we would have 6 in the center. Now, when you write this in the exam, these are the numbers they expect you to write. So you're only trying to show when the swap happens. So the first set of swap we had, so let's just start with the numbers itself. We had 7, 2, 9, 3, and 6. And we swapped 7 and 3. So we had 3, 7 here. 2, 9, and 6 are still there. Then the next set of numbers that we did swap, so when we look, we swap 9 and 6. So in my next iteration, I will go 9 and 6. So we would have 3, 2, 6. That's 9, 7. Very good. When we then looked at our swap, we did swap 3 and 2. So I'm going to put, I'm swapping 3 and 2. 2, 3, 6, 7, and 9. We did swap 9 with 9 on the last stage, but we're not going to write that down because if we swap it, you still get the same numbers. All right, and that is it. Thank you for watching. If the video has been helpful, remember to click the like button. Take care now. Bye-bye.